Hello everyone, welcome back to the Christian review of the God Delusion. I'm continuing to go through chapter 3, which is where Richard Dawkins attempts to respond to the various arguments for God's existence. In this video, I'll be discussing his response to the Teleological Argument. And it is one of the most astonishing examples of the begging the question fallacy I have ever seen. First, here's how Richard Dawkins describes the teleological argument. Things in the world, especially living things, look as though they have been designed. Nothing that we know looks designed unless it is designed. Therefore, there must have been a designer, and we call him God. Aquinas himself used the analogy of an arrow moving towards a target, but a modern heat-seeking anti-aircraft missile would have suited his purpose better. Now, I don't think Dawkins' summary entirely does the argument justice. It's not just that all living things appear to be designed. It's that all living things, every aspect of them, even down to the smallest, most seemingly simple aspect of them, appears to be so intricately designed to clearly have a purpose. And the more we learn about life, the more and more things appear to be designed. That said, let's hear how Dawkins attempts to respond to this argument. He says, "The argument from design is the only one still in regular use today, and it still sounds to many like the ultimate knockdown argument. The young Darwin was impressed by it when, as a Cambridge undergraduate, he read it in William Paley's Natural Theology. Unfortunately for Paley, the mature Darwin blew it out of the water. There has probably never been a more devastating rout of popular belief by clever reasoning than Charles Darwin's destruction of the argument from design. It was so unexpected. Thanks to Darwin, it is no longer true to say that nothing that we know looks designed unless it is designed. Evolution by natural selection produces an excellent simulacrum of design, mounting prodigious heights of complexity and elegance. And among these eminences of pseudo-design are nervous systems which, among their more modest accomplishments, manifest goal-seeking behavior that, even in a tiny insect, resembles a sophisticated heat-seeking missile more than a simple arrow on a target." Now, ignore the force of his rhetoric and listen to what he actually said. Aquinas says, living things look designed. Everything else that looks designed is designed. Therefore, living things are designed. And Dawkins' response is, but it's not true that everything else that looks designed is designed. Living things aren't designed. That is literally what we are debating about. That is literally the point of disagreement. You say living things are not designed. We say living things are designed. We give you a reason to believe that they are designed, and your response is, but living things aren't designed. In fact, he gives tremendous evidence of design by pointing to the incredible abilities of our nervous systems. But because he has already decided that we are not designed, he uses that as evidence against design. Now, you might say, well, surely he goes on to make his case. No, not here. He says, I shall return to the argument from design in chapter 4. But here, in his response to the argument, he simply asserts that the argument's conclusion is false. In fact, his example of the nervous system actually makes the case against Darwinian evolution. What is the benefit of 50% of a nervous system? Or 10%? Or 1%? And is it beneficial enough to allow people to survive long enough to develop full nervous systems, but not beneficial enough to allow them to survive up till today? And by the way, this is all supposed to have happened by chance. Now, evolutionists don't like it when you say that. They'll say, well, no, it's not by chance, it's by natural selection. Survival of the fittest. But that's a misunderstanding. Natural selection only explains why certain changes survived and became the norm. It does not explain why the changes happened in the first place. That is simply due to random mutation. In other words, chance. As Wayne Grudem says, Darwinists are left saying that it must have happened because it happened. Once again, it is clear. Nature has made it obvious that we have a creator. But we don't want there to be a creator, because then that means he has authority over our lives. So we come up with whatever we can think of to convince ourselves that there is no creator. But denying his existence does not make him any less real. We will all stand before God on the day of judgment to give account for every deed and thought. But he has sent his Son, Jesus Christ, to shed his blood so that you can trust in him and be clothed in his righteousness. I urge you, repent before it is too late.